Thank you very much, dear devotees, for kindly being present here today. I am so grateful to Tejas Prabhu, Rashmi Mataji, and who else is there in home, Prabhuji? Amala Gaurangi. Alright. So, Tejas Prabhu, Rashmi Mataji, Amala Gaurangi, and dear devotees, this is a very beautiful home. It is so beautiful. Yesterday I ended up coming here by mistake. And I knocked on the door and then Mataji said, program is not today. I said, yeah, but the home is so nice. I thought, But thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for kindly opening the doors of your home. And I'm very grateful that you've kindly organized a program like this. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who have kindly come here today. And thank you to Hari Leela Prabhu for kindly organizing this series of events in Houston. And we should also thank the wonderful devotees who were doing kirtan here. There was Rati Prabhu and Radhika, who were singing. Anybody else was doing kirtan before you? No, all right. So let's give a big applause to all these wonderful devotees. Dear devotees, today I'll be trying to speak something about the most important gross anartha that exists within the spiritual life of most individuals. Because for the last 2 days we've been discussing the subtle anarthas or the second cleansing of Gundicha. But the first cleansing is also very important, because the first cleansing indicates cleaning of the gross anarthas. And we will look into that, but before we begin, there is Shisht Parampara, tradition established by the previous Acharyas to perform Mangalacharan. So we'll perform Mangalacharan. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitaram Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Gaur Premanande. So dear devotees, welcome to this particular talk on the killing of Vatsasura. Vatsasura is a demon who was killed by Shri Krishna in Krishna Lila. His pastime is described only in 4 verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Very quick pastime. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, within 4 verses, this pastime gets over. But the pastime has some deep implication for the practicing devotees, for the sadhakas. Before I begin, it is also Vaishnava tradition to glorify the audience. I cannot take my audience for granted. Dear devotees, all of you are present here as the audience. Please tell me who is most important, speaker or the audience? Both. That's a diplomatic answer. Dear devotees, the audience is more important. If the speaker doesn't arrive, somebody else will be selected as the speaker. Or at least there will be good prashadam. But if the audience doesn't arrive, then what will the poor speaker do? So hence proved, who is more important? Audience. See, all of you agreed. So this is the glory of a Vaishnava audience. There is a very nice Subhashit verse describing the glory of such an audience. I will sing the verse, please repeat after me. Kavayah paritushyanti netare kavisuktibihi nahyakupar vatkupa vardhante vidhukantibihi. Kavayah paritushyanti, broad-minded, poetic devotees like you will be satisfied. Na itare, others who are not broad-minded Vaishnavas, not poetic in nature, will not be satisfied with this presentation. Kavi Sukti, because this presentation consists of the writings of the previous acharyas. So we require a broad-minded Vaishnava audience. Narrow-minded audience cannot be satisfied. Na hi akuparavat kupa vardhante vidhu kantivi. Example is given. Under the full moon, dear devotees, it is only the broad-hearted ocean which swells, not the narrow-minded well, although both have water in them. But it is only the broad-minded ocean which swells under the full moon, but not a narrow-minded well. Dear devotees, all of your hearts are just like the ocean. Do you agree? Chalo. I will ask you a few questions. Tell me yes or no. Okay? I'll ask you a few questions about the ocean. Is the ocean deep?
Yes.
Is the ocean always restless?
Yes.
Is it difficult to reach the other end of the ocean?
Yes.
And is the ocean a resting place of Lord Vishnu?
Yes.
Achha. Is the heart of the Vaishnavas deep?
Yes.
Now you can't say no. Is the heart of the Vaishnavas restless due to separation from Krishna?
Yes.
Is it difficult to reach the other side of the heart of the Vaishnava?
Yes.
Does Bhagavan reside within the heart of the Vaishnava?
Yes.
So the heart of the Vaishnava can be compared only to one entity. What is that? Ocean. So, see, all of you agree. See, I made all of you agree. So dear devotees, all of you are broad-minded Vaishnavas. Your heart is just like an ocean under the full moon. Vidhu. One meaning of Vidhu is Krishna. One meaning of Vidhu is full moon. When the full moon arises within your heart, the ocean of your heart will swell. When Shri Krishna arises within the sky of your heart will also swell and will overflow, and these emotions will come out in the form of tears, etc. Thank you, dear devotees, for being such broad-minded Vaishnavas. Thank you for kindly coming here. This is the translation of the verse. Bhakti Prabhu, you have a strong voice. Are you singing so nicely, Prabhuji? Please read the translation loudly.
Okay, translation. Only broad-minded poets experience delight and satisfaction by listening to poetry composed by other broad-minded poets. Narrow-minded individuals devoid of a poetic sense can never feel it. It is only the broad ocean that swells in the rays of the full moon and never the narrow wells.
Yes, dear devotees. So all of you are broad-minded. There is no doubt about that. But what about the speaker? Speaker may not be qualified. Speaker has come for a different reason. Do you know why I have come here today? Do you wish to know? Yes. Alright. So dear devotees, different people come for different motivations. Programs like these are just like an Indian wedding. How many of you all of you have been to an Indian wedding? In an Indian wedding, different people come for different motivations. There's a nice Subhashit verse about that. Please repeat after me. Kanya varayate rupam Mata vittam pita shrutam Bandhava kulam icchanti Mishtan mitare jana. So Kanya varayate rupam. In a wedding, Indian wedding, typical Indian wedding, the young girl who is getting married, the bride, she desires a very handsome man. This is her desire. My husband should be very good looking. Mata vittam, her mother is more experienced and mature. She desires her son-in-law should earn very well. Pita shrutam, the girl's father wants that my son-in-law should have a good educational degree. Bandhava, the other immediate relatives, kulam icchanti, they want we should have our interactions with a good family. And other people, mishtannam, they come simply for the sweets. So now you know why I have come here, dear devotees, today. I heard that there were good sweets being prepared. There are, yes. So that is why I have come here today. Alright? So dear devotees, all of you may have come for the katha and all of that. That is your motivation. I'll tell you my motivation. Mishtannam, this bottom right, that is me, dear devotees. Alright, Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The bride desires a handsome man, her mother desires a financially stable man, her father desires a highly educated man, the immediate relatives desire a man belonging to a good family, whereas all others, they simply desire to have good sweets in the wedding feast.
So this is why I have come. I will be very honest. All of you are very broad-minded. And you have kindly accepted, you have taken the risk of making me sit upon the seat. So now that you have taken the risk, no problem, I'll do my best. Dear devotees, we'll begin with a quote by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says something, Prabhu, kindly read what Prabhupada says. You are the speaker, your voice is good.
Liberation from material contamination is called anartha nivritti, indicating a diminishing of all unwanted things. This is the test of development in devotional service. If one actually develops the devotional attitude, he must be freed from the material contamination of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling and meat eating. These are the preliminary symptoms. When one is freed from all material contamination, his firm faith in devotional service awakens.
Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada speaks something very important. He speaks about anartha nivritti, or getting rid of the negatives. And Srila Prabhupada says, if one actually develops the devotional attitude, he must be free from the material contamination of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling and meat eating. Dear devotees, this is truly known as anartha nivritti, to get rid of the negatives. Now, dear devotees, Srila Rupa Goswami has given us the path of sequential progress in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, and I will specify the verse given by Sri Rupa Goswami. Kindly repeat the verse after me. Adau Shraddha Tatah Sadhu Sangotha Bhajana Kriya Tato Nartha Nivritti Syat. So Adau Shraddha. First and foremost, what has to happen? Shraddha. In our spiritual life, the first step is what? Shraddha. What is the meaning of Shraddha? Faith. Faith in whom? Guru, Krishna, alright, holy name. So see, on the first step itself we don't have a consensus. Different people are saying different things. So what is the meaning of Shraddha? Dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami, while commenting on this verse, he defines what is the meaning of Shraddha. When Sri Rupa Goswami was writing Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu on palm leaf manuscript, there was somebody who was sitting near him and fanning him. Who was fanning Sri Rupa Goswami when he was writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Sri Jiva Goswami himself was fanning him. And whenever Sri Rupa Goswami was writing anything, Sri Jiva Goswami would immediately ask questions. Because he would make his notes on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These notes later became the commentary of Sri Jiva Goswami. Sri Jiva Goswami, in his commentary on this verse, spoke something, please repeat after me. Shastra, Artha, Vishwasa, Iti Shraddha. What is the meaning of Shraddha? Shastra, Artha, Vishwasa. Which means firm faith in the meanings of Shastra is the first step. That is Shraddha. Dear devotees, when we got introduced to devotional life, none of us had firm faith in Krishna. First and foremost, we got a book. Then we read the book and we had faith in the literature. And because of faith in the literature, we were able to advance to the point of having faith in Guru and Krishna. So Shraddha is firm faith in which entity? Shastra. This we have to understand. Tataha sadhu sangaha. Then Shastra tells us which sadhu to associate with. What are the characteristics of an ideal sadhu? And then after associating with such an ideal sadhu, we get to know what is bhajan kriya. What is the meaning of bhajan? Or any sort of seva, any sort of service of Bhagwan is known as bhajan. In modern India, bhajan means taking a harmonium and singing. That is also bhajan. But bhajan originally means any sort of devotional service. And after bhajan kriya, what is the fourth step? Tato anartha nivritti. So initially one must have Shraddha, then comes the association of sadhus, followed by bhajan kriya, followed by anartha nivritti. Dear devotees, many individuals develop incorrect attitudes in relation to anartha nivritti. What is the meaning of anartha nivritti? Can anybody tell me? Alright. Everybody knows what I am speaking about. Dear devotees, anartha nivritti means getting rid of the negatives. What are the negatives most important negatives that the devotee has, progressing devotee has within their heart? Lust, anger, greed, etc. Dear devotees, amongst lust, anger, greed, etc., which is the Pradhan Malla, the main wrestler in the entire group? Lust. So dear devotees, if we are able to face the Pradhan Malla, the main amongst all of these, we will easily be able to tackle the others. That is anartha nivritti. But many individuals develop an incorrect attitude that for anartha nivritti you need something. What do you need? What is the meaning of vairagya? Renunciation. Dear devotees, this is where a small problem starts occurring within their practice of bhakti. That devotees start saying that you must first develop vairagya. What is the meaning of vairagya? Renunciation. What is vairagya? Renunciation. First and foremost, you should develop vairagya, and on the strength of that vairagya, you will be able to advance in your bhakti. Without vairagya, you cannot advance on the path of bhakti. This is where an incorrect attitude begins developing in the heart of various individuals who are practicing the path of bhakti. Dear devotees, our most important enemy that we are facing in the world is Kama, also known as lust. It is so powerful that there are verses written in glorification of Kama. How powerful it is. One such verse is as follows. Kindly repeat after me. Ekam vastu dvidha kartum bahavaha santi dhanvinah jayatyekah smaro dhanvi dvayoraikyam karoti yah Ekam vastu dvidha kartum, to split one object into two. Bahavaha santi dhanvina, there are many archers, bowmen in this world who can expertly split one object into how many objects? Two. Jayati ekah smaro dhanvi, all glories to that bowman named Kamadev. Dvayor aikyam karotiya, when he casts his arrow, he combines two into one. I hope you are able to understand or didn't understand. When any other bowman in the world shoots his arrow, he splits one object into two. But when Kamadev shoots his arrow, he combines two people into one. This is the translation, please read.
There are many expert bowmen in this world capable of splitting an object into two using their sharp arrows. All glories, however, that expert bowman named Cupid, who unites two into one through his arrows.
And then many individuals start saying that the way to get rid of Kama is Vairagya. Isn't it? Vairagya, what is the meaning of Vairagya, dear devotees? Renunciation. So the way of getting rid of Kama is Vairagya, renunciation. And then they start developing various theories on how to become more renounced. Some people think, I will eat less because all the senses are in one line, isn't it? If I eat less, then naturally my senses will be less active. Then will I not be able to overcome Kama? Yes or no? Some people develop this theory. Some other people think, my 16 rounds I will chant for pleasure of Krishna. And then I will chant 16 additional rounds simply for defeating Kamadev, for overcoming lust. Dear devotees, whenever a particular person takes to any extra effort for defeating Kamadev, Kamadev is laughing because he says, in the Mahabharata there is Kama Gita in which Kamadev himself says how impossible it is to defeat him. Please repeat after me. Naham shakyo nupayena hantum bhutena kenachid yomam prayatate hantum gyatva praharane balam tasya tasmin praharane punah pradurbhavamyaham. Kamadev, Cupid says, Naham shakyo anupayena hantum bhutena kenachit. I cannot be killed by anybody using any means whatsoever. If you try by yourself. Yomam prayatate hantum. Anybody who tries to kill me, Kamadev, gyatva praharane balam, thinking that this method is very effective. Tasya tasmin praharane pradurbhavamyaham. In that very method I enter and defeat that person. For example, if today I decide 16 rounds I am chanting for pleasing Krishna and 16 extra rounds I will chant simply to defeat Kamadev, not for pleasing Krishna, simply to defeat Kamadev, then in that 16 rounds also Kamadev will enter. And while I am chanting, then suddenly I will start having thoughts, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. That Mataji was nice in the temple. I hope you are able to understand. So, whatever method you use for conquering, he enters into that very method and ends up defeating you. Now, bolo. Is it easy to defeat this enemy? No. Please read the translation, Prabhu, loudly.
I, Kama, cannot be slain by anyone, by any existing means. If a person should seek to slay me, putting their trust in the strength of any means, then I appear in that very means and conquer them instead.
Yes, dear devotees. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami says, there are many people who have an incorrect idea of Vairagya. And this Vairagya, Sri Rupa Goswami gives the name Phalgu Vairagya. How many of us have heard the term Phalgu Vairagya? Yes? So today we will see the definition of Phalgu Vairagya from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu as given by Sri Rupa Goswami. Please repeat after me. Prapanchikataya buddhya हरिसंबंधी वस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यं फल्गु कथ्यते. Phalgu Vairagya. Dear devotees, in India there is a river named Phalgu. In the state of Bihar, there is a river named Phalgu. This river is the exact opposite of all the rivers in India. All other rivers in India have water on top and sand underneath. The Phalgu river has sand on top and water underneath. So on top you will see very dry sand. And if you dig 1 or 2 feet inside, there is water flowing underneath. This is the only river in India. In Bihar it is called Phalgu. So dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami calls Phalgu Vairagya. Somebody who appears like a Vairagi, like dry sand on top. But underneath there is the water of sense gratification flowing. That Vairagi is known as which Vairagi? Phalgu Vairagi. Prapanchikataya buddhya. A devotee develops an incorrect attitude and thinks everything is material and worthy of rejection. If I want to become a Vairagi, I should reject everything. Anything that you see around you, it is ultimately Maya. So reject it. Even Hari Sambandhi Vastuna, he does not see any object connected to Bhagwan's Seva. And immediately he wants to reject and renounce. Very quickly. Why? Mumukshu. He is Mumukshu. Very quickly wants to attain liberation and go back home, back to Godhead. His first concern is to go back home, back to Godhead. Attain liberation. His first concern is not love of Krishna. This person's Vairagya, this person's renunciation is incorrectly placed and is known as which Vairagya? Phalgu Vairagya. Now dear devotees, I want to ask you a question. What will we do after going back home, back to Godhead? Enjoy. So ultimately, in this life you should have Vairagya. And in next life you will go back to Godhead. And after going to back to Godhead, what will you do? Enjoy. Dear devotees, so the waters of enjoyment are flowing underneath. On top there is the sand of Vairagya. This is known as which Vairagya? Phalgu Vairagya. This is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The complete rejection of all objects related to Hari by those desiring liberation in the spirit of considering such objects to be materialistic is known as Phalgu Vairagya.
Phalgu Vairagya is the incorrect variety of Vairagya that is seen in the world. Dear devotees, for this reason many people try to overcome lust, but almost all of them fail. And after some time they give up. They give up because they failed in the efforts. Dear devotees, we should today try to learn how to defeat lust from the Acharya who had the most mature understanding of Vairagya. Who was Vairagya personified in his life? Dear devotees, the killing of Vatsasura pastime was explained in great detail by Lion Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. How many of us would like to know how to become a good brahmachari and a good renunciate from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada? Please raise your hands. Arey why? Everybody wants to know. Chalo. Good. Dear devotees, we are in very good hands. When he was in college, he was studying many subjects including Jyotish, astrology. He formed a group of friends. And many men were there in that group and they all took a vow. We will remain celibate, brahmachari throughout our life. And this entire group ended up taking a vow of brahmacharya. Dear devotees, only one person remained in the group. Can you imagine who remained in the group? The founder remained. Everybody else gradually moved out. What was it in his mindset that enabled him to remain a lifelong brahmachari? What was it in his mindset that allowed him to very easily, defeat? Well, he doesn't have to defeat, he doesn't have any connection. But what was it in his mindset that was so unique, that was not present in the mindset of others? So we should learn directly from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on what is the proper attitude on dealing with lust and how to attain mature vairagya or proper vairagya, yukta vairagya. Dear devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam there is a pastime of the killing of Vatsasura. Vatsa, does anybody know what is the meaning of the term Vatsa? Calf. And Vatsa has two meanings. Calf, and it also means a small boy or son, is also known as Vatsa. So the name of this demon actual name of this demon is not known, but because this demon took the form of a calf, and calf in Sanskrit is Vatsa, therefore Sri Vyasadeva has given the name as what? Vatsasura. This was a demon sent by Kamsa when Krishna was performing his pastimes in his childhood. This demon Vatsasura entered into the herd of calves because Krishna and the boys used to herd calves, cowherd boys used to herd calves. This demon suddenly one day entered into the herd of calves. None of the cowherd boys could recognize who this particular demon was. But one person recognized, and who was the one person who recognized the demon? Krishna. Krishna indicated to Balram, a very special calf has come today. And then he went to that calf, very nice, very nice. Took the two hind legs of the calf and caught the calf and swung that calf around and threw the calf dead on a kapitha tree. Does anybody know what is a kapitha tree? We stopped observing nature long time ago. Achha, okay, I will tell you. In Hindi it is called kait. Or in English it is called wood apple. When the Britishers came to India, because Britishers had not seen exotic fruits growing in India, so the main fruit that the Britishers had seen was apple. So when they came to India, all the fruits that were like apple, they gave names after apple. So kapitha is known as which apple? Wood apple. And then there is tal fruit in Talwan. Do you know, dear devotees, what is tal known in English as? Ice apple. So, most of the fruits were named after apples. Wood apple, ice apple, custard apple, pineapple, all apple. All right. So he threw that Vatsa, that calf demon, on a kapitha tree. All the fruits fell down. And the boys cheered and the Devatas showered flowers. End of story. Now pastime occurs to be very simple, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives an adhyatmic artha, a meaning which is important for our personal spiritual lives. And this adhyatmic artha, this meaning is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says something. Vatsasura, all the demons represent some evil within the heart. Vatsasura represents the evil of lust which arises at a certain point of time in our heart. The devotees' lust usually arises during adolescence, boyhood, adolescence. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the neophyte is extremely susceptible to such evils. The new devotee is extremely susceptible to Vatsasura within the heart. I hope you are able to understand. Which problem does Vatsasura represent? Yes. The new devotee is very susceptible to these evils within the heart. They cannot be gotten rid of except by the mercy of Krishna. He gives the conclusion in one line. They cannot be gotten rid of except by the mercy of Krishna. He is saying something. Dear devotees, amongst all the cowherd boys, could anybody recognize where Vatsasura is? by our own effort we will not be able to locate where Kamadev is hiding within the heart. It is not possible. Simply not possible. We may try many techniques. Kamadev is laughing. He is saying whatever technique you will try, I will enter into that technique and I will end up defeating you. But there is one person who can help us in this regard, and who is the only person? And Krishna indicated to somebody first. Whom did Krishna indicate to first? Balaram is the representative of the Guru. And Sri Krishna gives an indication to the Guru. And the Guru through his teachings is able to help the disciple overcome this particular demon named what? Vatsasura. Dear devotees, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his English is very technical in nature. I have tried to simplify some of the words. So these are, most of the words are his, but the difficult words, I have given a simpler replacement of those words, so it is easier for us to understand. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the scripture, Shastra says it is not in the power of man to ensure the immunity of boys and girls from sense gratification, except by the means of service of Krishna. Dear devotees, we may try many things to ensure that we remain safe from Vatsasura. Now I will not use the term lust. What will I use? Vatsasura. To remain safe from Vatsasura. It is not possible. You may try any means, but there is only one means which will work, except for the service of Krishna. This is declared to be the only effective and natural method. There are two adjectives that he uses in the last sentence. What are the two adjectives? Effective, natural. He is indicating other methods that we are trying artificially are going to be ineffective and unnatural. What are other methods going to be? Ineffective and unnatural. Any other method that we try are going to be ineffective and unnatural. Dear devotees, if we try by our own strength, it is not going to be possible. Ask Saubhari Muni who tried. Ask Saubhari Muni who left the entire world and was meditating inside the water. He cut off connection with human society. And what happened to Saubhari Muni? Does anybody know? He saw fish underneath water. And when he saw fish, a pair of fish mating with each other, his desires were suddenly awakened. Kamdev entered into his tapasya and ended up defeating Saubhari. Wasn't Kamdev speaking the truth? Yes, 100%. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur then continues. He asks a question. Where did this idea of Vairagya, you need to be a perfect renunciate first and only then you can serve Krishna? How many of us have heard of this idea? Please raise your hands. First you be pure and then only you can serve Krishna. Raise your hands. Bolo, bolo. Don't hesitate. This Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur calls the puritanic ideal of Godhead. Some people are puritanic in nature. They want first you get fully pure. First you scrub your heart of all the impurities and only then you are eligible to serve Krishna. He says this puritanic ideal of Godhead is a conception which owes its origins to persons who are anxious to establish kingdom of God on earth. He is indicating the church, the Christian church. Because in the Christian church they are very eager to establish kingdom of God on earth. And in Christianity you cannot attain God unless you are fully pure. You cannot serve God unless you are fully pure of all the cardinal sins. So dear devotees, he says, but if you scratch the thin coating on the surface of their sage and sober scheme, you detect the rotten arrangement for securing maximum of sense enjoyment. Because he is saying, if you go to the church and ask them, I will become perfect celibate person, I will get rid of lust, and then I will follow the path of Christianity. And after death, what will I get according to Christianity? Heaven. And what do I do in heaven? So if you scratch the surface of their arrangement, you will detect underneath there is immense spirit of enjoyment. Rupa Goswami had called this type of Vairagya, which Vairagya, dear devotees? Phalgu Vairagya. On top there is sand of renunciation, dry sand of renunciation. Underneath there is water of enjoyment flowing. This renunciation is called Phalgu Vairagya. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur critiques this idea directly now. Please repeat after me. The spurious brahmacharya, ideal, as misconceived by its worldly supporters, embodies this puritanic outlook. He says there is spurious brahmacharya in this world. Does anybody know what is the meaning of spurious? Fake. In English, in Hindi we say jali, nakli. There is spurious brahmacharya ideal being propagated in this world. And what is the spurious brahmacharya? What is the fake idea of brahmacharya being propagated in this world? That first you scrub your heart nicely with vairagya, with practices of renunciation. And after you have become a perfect vairagi, only then are you eligible to serve Bhagavan. He says this idea is spurious brahmacharya. Dear devotees, he then tells us what is the truth. Actually, he says each and every one of us is already a brahmachari since our very birth. His statement, dear devotees, please see. The scriptures indeed enjoin that everyone should serve Godhead from the womb. This is the real meaning of brahmacharya. Dear devotees, the Sanskrit term brahmachari. Does anybody know what is the meaning of the term brahmachari? I will speak the meaning, please repeat after me. Brahma a charati iti brahmachari. Brahma a charati, one who always dwells in the absolute truth. Brahma. Charati means one who dwells. Always. Brahma a charati, in the absolute truth, one who always charati dwells, is known as what? Brahmachari. Dear devotees, as Srimad Bhagavatam describes, when we were in the womb hanging upside down, there was one person whom we were constantly remembering. Whom were we remembering in the womb? We were brahmachari, dwelling in the absolute truth right within our womb, dear devotees. We don't have to acquire brahmacharya externally. We were brahmacharis right within the womb. All of us, each and every one of us, was brahmachari within the womb. Dear devotees, if we were brahmachari within the womb, then what happened to us after we came out into the world? After we came into the world, in the initial few years, we did not have lust within us. As soon as we gained adolescence, Vatsasura took over our hearts. Who took our hearts? Vatsasura. That is the problem. Now we have to drive away Vatsasura. But if we try our own methods of vairagya, is it going to work? These methods which we try on our own are called ascetic methods. Which methods? Ascetic. What is the meaning of ascetic? Does anybody know what is asceticism? No. Asceticism means trying to become a tapasvi by sacrificing this, sacrificing that. This person is called ascetic. Ascetic matlab who tries to give up material things. This person is known as what? Ascetic. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says anybody who tries to become an ascetic externally, he dreams of obtaining mastery over nature by the method of controlling his senses. All ascetics, those who say control your senses, actually their ultimate purpose is to master material nature. That is their hidden objective. He says there is no reference to the service of Godhead or any spiritual issue in this. Those who are saying give up this, give up that, give up this, give up that, is there any relationship of service to Krishna in saying give up this, give up that? Actually they want to master material nature. There is no reference to service of Krishna. Therefore, dear devotees, They are trying to overcome Maya, material nature, by using material tactics. Can you overcome Maya by using material tactics? Please tell me. Can you fight material nature using material nature? She will laugh on us. Dear devotees, I will eat less. Acha, acha. Is this a spiritual practice or material practice? Purely material practice. I will sleep for 4 hours every day only. On the floor. Spiritual practice or material practice? Purely material practice. From today, when I walk on the street, I will look down. I will not look at the opposite gender. Spiritual practice or material practice? Purely material practice. This is called asceticism. What is it known as? Asceticism. The ascetic wants to control material nature through his detachment. But this is the reason why the ascetic fails. Because you are using material nature to defeat material nature. That is not going to be possible. Finally, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, we have had many occasions to explain. He is saying, many times I have explained to many people, he said, that the spiritual is transcendental. No mundane consideration can form any part of spiritual training or conduct. Then he speaks a statement which is very important. Please repeat after me. It is not a spiritual affair to be even able to control one's carnal desires. He said there is nothing spiritual about being able to control one's desires of lust. Nothing. In Ayurveda you get kashaya. You know what is kashaya? I'll tell you, there is a formula in Ayurveda. If you go to India, you can ask an Ayurveda Acharya, you can get kashaya. This kashaya is a very bitter medicine. This bitter medicine can immediately finish all desires within the body. You can take kashaya. I tell you, there is kashaya available in India. But they will not give you, it is against the rules of the government nowadays to feed somebody kashaya. But if you go to an expert Ayurveda Acharya, they will tell you there is kashaya. You drink kashaya, you will not have any desire in your life. Bolo. Should we order kashaya for everybody? Yes. Bulk order. Everybody drink kashaya and tomorrow everybody will be a pure devotee. Okay? I am telling you. So how many want to sign up for drinking kashaya? It's a bitter astringent preparation. Once you drink it, lust is gone. 100%. Those who want to go to... We have one customer, finally. But what is the relationship of drinking kashaya with Krishna Seva? Please tell me. Do such activities have any relationship with service of Bhagavan? Ultimately, I am doing this for satisfying the ego that I controlled material nature. Dear devotees, when there is no reference to Seva of Bhagavan, all activities become material, including control of senses. Then how are we supposed to control senses? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, please tell us. Finally he says, please repeat after me. Such self-control is indeed automatically produced by the awakening of the soul. Self-control should be a side effect of performing bhakti. It is not one of the main goals of performing bhakti. The incorrect attitudes which many people develop is that if I don't develop sense control separately, then I will not be able to advance in bhakti. What should come first? The horse should come first or the cart should come first? आगे क्या होता है? घोड़ा या गाड़ी? घोड़ा होगा, पहले गाड़ी होगा कि नहीं ना? So if somebody places cart first, no, vairagya should come first, renunciation should come first, then seva of Krishna will come later. They have placed the cart before the horse. First, service of Krishna should come. As a natural result of service of Krishna, one will be able to get vairagya, and there is no other way to develop it. Absolutely no other way. All ascetic practices are more or less material in nature, and they have no relationship with service of Bhagavan. Absolutely no relationship. Now, dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami also gives a warning, and Sri Jiva Goswami confirms that warning. Too much of vairagya is also hurtful for your bhakti. This is something which is often not quoted, but today I am quoting it because often many individuals don't like to read these sections of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. It makes them uncomfortable within their heart. Because for some people, vairagya is their sense gratification. So dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami says, please repeat after me. Bhakti pravishtasya vairagyam chitta kathinya hetutaya heyatvena uktam. Bhakti pravishtasya, somebody was entered on which path? Bhakti. Vairagyam, if you try to scrape your heart with the sandpaper of vairagya, chitta kathinya, your heart will become very hard. Heyatvena uktam, therefore reject this excess practice of vairagya. Vairagya should develop naturally, organically, as a result of practicing what? Bhakti. Separately, we need not try to practice vairagya. Some people are such vairagis, even in japa of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they start prescribing vairagya. One time a person told me, you should chant your 16 rounds sitting in one place only and don't move anywhere, that to one posture. Are. In the morning you were saying Tatra Arpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Huh? What is the meaning of that? There are no rules and regulations to chant. When you were reciting Shikshastakam, you were saying in the morning, and then suddenly you said you should chant your 16 rounds sitting in one place and don't move. No, because sitting in fixed position means you should give some trouble to your body. Otherwise the body will not listen to you. I said, might as well perform Shirshasana, hang upside down and perform 16 rounds. I guarantee you will not sleep. My guarantee, huh? If you have problem of sleeping while chanting 16 rounds, perform Shirshasana, legs above, head below. And then I guarantee you will not be able to sleep. How many want to chant in Shirshasana? One time a disciple of Srila Prabhupada was on Juhu beach. This was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was walking, it was summer season, early morning the sand was burning. A disciple of Srila Prabhupada came on the beach running from behind, he was late, he came running from behind. And Prabhupada noticed that somebody is coming running from behind. This disciple didn't have shoes. So the sand was burning. The Prabhupada said, why are you not wearing shoes? He said, Vairagi mind. Prabhupada, when I am with you, I don't feel any distress. Prabhupada's reply, then why don't you cut your head? Then why don't you cut your head? We should recognize Phalgu Vairagya when it appears before us, dear devotees. We should recognize what is Phalgu Vairagya when it appears before us. Hari Sambandhi Vastuna. Shoes can be used for seva of Hari. When the feet burn, you will not be able to remember Hari nicely. So take the shoes and remember Hari nicely. But no, I want to become Vairagi first. I hope you are able to understand. Why? Because if I become Vairagi, very quickly I will be able to go back home. And what will I do there? So Phalgu river is flowing underneath the sand of Vairagya. I hope you are able to understand. This mumukshu, this person who eagerly wants to go back home, back to Godhead, is known as Phalgu Vairagi. And Prabhupada identified it. So see Prabhu, kindly read translation loudly.
For a person who has entered into bhakti, the over-cultivation of renunciation is to be rejected because it hardens the heart.
Dear devotees, Vairagya is like sandpaper. You scrape your heart again and again with the sandpaper of Vairagya. What happens to something that you scrape with sandpaper? What happens to that object? Oh. Alright, it becomes rough. And gradually something starts happening with that object. What starts happening? Diminishes. Dear devotees, if you keep scraping your heart with the sandpaper of Vairagya, one fine day we might end up losing our heart and not in Vrindavan. I lost my heart on the pathways of Vairagya. The heart is the sitting place of lust, calm. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, the heart is the sitting place of calm. Therefore, somebody will tell you, scrape the heart with the sandpaper of Vairagya. While scraping the heart with the sandpaper of Vairagya, you might end up losing your heart. This heart is also going to be the sitting place of Bhakti Ras. And tomorrow, because we don't have a heart, tomorrow we may end up losing taste for that ultimate object which we were supposed to relish on the path of Bhakti. What were we supposed to relish? Bhakti Ras. And this Ras we will not be able to, Krishna Prem we will not be able to experience because we don't have a heart anymore. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami gives a second warning in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to the over-renunciate. He says, there are 5 rasas. Who knows what are the 5 rasas? First is Shanta, second is Dasya, third is Sakhya, not Sakhya, Sakhya, fourth is Vatsalya, fifth is, he says Madhurya Ras especially is not for the over-renunciate. This is a verse directly written for the over-renunciate in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These verses are conveniently not often quoted, alright? Because the emphasis is often on Vairagya. Now see the other side. We have to see Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in its entirety to understand the mood of Sri Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami's statement in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, please repeat after me. Nivrittanupayogitva Suruhatvadayam rasah. Nivritta, those who are very detached. Anupayogitva, this Madhurya Ras is useless for them. Duruhatvad is very difficult for them to understand. Ayam rasah. This warning he gives in the Madhurya Ras section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
This Madhurya Rasa is unfit to be relished by those who are too detached.
Why is it unfit to be relished? Sri Jiva Goswami was sitting right there, fanning Rupa Goswami. He asked, why is it so? Rupa Goswami gave him the answer. Fortunately, we have the answer by Sri Jiva Goswami today. Sri Jiva Goswami says, please repeat after me. Nivritteshu Prakrita Shringara Rasa Samadrishtya Bhagavata Dapi Asmad Rasad Virakteshu. So Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, Nivritteshu, those who have become so detached. Prakrita Shringara Rasa Samadrishtya. Everywhere they see love affairs of men and women, they become detached from it. And they say Bhagavata Dapi, even in the Bhagavatam when they see love affairs are being described, in which canto, dear devotees? Are wow, all of you know, huh? No, I will not read. I will fall into material life again if I read 10th canto. Bhagavata Dapi Asmad Rasad Virakteshu. These people purposely stay away from the descriptions in 10th canto. Anupayogitva, disqualified, this person. Immediately disqualified from relishing which ras? Why? Scraped his heart so much, lost his heart, but not in Vrindavan. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Among those who are detached, there are individuals who think of all Madhurya Rasa as being similar to mundane romance. Thus, such individuals stay away from Madhurya Rasa even if it is given in the Bhagavatam. Such renunciates are ineligible and this rasa is not suitable for them.
So warning is given for the person who is scraping his heart with Vairagya. Dear devotees, How does a person finally overcome Kama? So this is the final part of the series, this particular seminar. Please hear very carefully. Sri Jiva Goswami says in Gopal Champu, Yadamita rasa shastre vyanji vaidagdhya vrindam tad anumapi na vettum kalpate kami lokaha tad akilamapi yasya prema sindhav na kinchin mithunam ajita gopi rupame tad vibhati. Yad amita rasa shastre, take all the mundane romantic literature in this world, all the romantic literature of the material world. Dear devotees, which is the best romantic story in the material world? Romeo and Juliet. This is a standard for the Western world. Romeo and Juliet, alright. Now dear devotees, Romeo and Juliet, you take all the emotions that Romeo and Juliet experienced. Okay? Jiva Goswami says, not only Romeo and Juliet, take all the love stories of the material world. All the emotions that they experience. Anumapi na vettum kalpate kamiloka. The typical lusty person on the street will not be able to experience even a tiny fraction of what is described in the material literature. I hope you are able to understand. How many of us here experience the emotions of Romeo and Juliet in our lives? Please raise your hands. I forgot your Hare Krishnas. You don't fall in love. I will make it easier for you. Okay? How many of you saw people who were experiencing all the emotions of Romeo and Juliet in their life? All the spectrum of emotions. Can the ordinary person on the street experience that range of emotions which is described in the material literature? Please say yes or no.
No.
Acha. The ordinary person can't experience even the expertise which is described in the material literature. And tad akhilamapi yasya, all that material expertise is nothing in front of the vast ocean. You see that painting, dear devotees? That vast ocean of the love of a divine couple. Which divine couple is that, dear devotees? Dear devotees, once you get to experience a little bit of that, automatically the granthi in your heart will open, the knot will open. I will tell you one secret about the life of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, which very few people know. Before he took sannyas, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada went to his father Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya, and he told Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya, I have a desire to print a book in thousands and thousands of copies and distribute. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur was always very happy with book distribution. He said, which book? Can you imagine which book he might have said? Huh? He said Shri Ujjwal Nilmani. This is the most esoteric book on the pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. The supplementary portion of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, is everything okay? What is happening? Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, we will think about it. After some time he came again and said, I have this desire, I want to print in thousands and thousands of numbers. Which literature? Bhakti Vinod Thakur then told him, you print one copy for yourself, that's it. You print one copy for yourself. And you study. Because you arrived at a point where you understand the entire significance of the text. Others who are newcomers will not be able to understand the significance of the text. So he printed one copy for himself and studied it in entirety and did not waste time with eating less and sleeping on the floor and like that. His vairagya was very natural. Because he had developed taste for Harinam and Harikatha, to save his time he would eat less. I hope you are able to understand. To save his time he would eat less. And when he was chanting a billion names of Bhagwan, the roof was broken and the water of the rainfall used to come in. Why did he not repair the roof? Because he wanted to get wet and get sick? Waste of time to get it repaired. So just take an umbrella and read the books underneath. So for him, Vairagya came very, very, very naturally. He did not undergo a course of Vairagya, training course in Vairagya in order to be where he was. Of course, he is a Nitya Siddha. But even for the sake of performing Leela, he did not undergo any so-called external training in Vairagya. So this, dear devotees, is the proper, mature understanding of Vairagya. One who understands the beauty of the ras that is there in spiritual world. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopi asya param drishtva nivartate. A person may externally stop sense gratification, but the thirst, the rasa for sense gratification remains within his heart. But even this rasa is removed, material rasa, by seeing param rasam, by seeing higher rasa. And which is the higher rasa as compared to material rasa? Bhakti rasa. And this bhakti rasa, when experienced by any individual, that is when the granthi, they come to know that this range of emotions is not possible to be experienced in material life. At that time, the knot within their heart is slackened. And at that point of time, they became free of Vatsasura. Dear devotees, this was always the technique of the Bhakti Yogi. Not by scraping our heart with the sandpaper of Vairagya. One time, somebody told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing kirtan by closed door inside Srivas Pandit's home. Today I am not getting so much relishment. Somebody is there inside who is not a rasik. Everybody is proper candidate here. No, somebody is not a proper candidate here. Acha, today we had invited one brahmachari. Acha, brahmachari is not a problem. But what sort of brahmachari? He drinks only milk. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he become brahmachari simply by drinking milk. Get him out immediately. I know now why my kirtan is not pleasurable. Somebody who is scraping his heart with Vairagya has entered into the assembly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had the greatest relishment of kirtan with individuals like Srivas Pandit. Which ashram was Srivas Pandit in? Advaita Acharya. Which ashram was he in? And then in Jagannath Puri, the greatest relishments with Rai Ramananda. Which ashram was Rai Ramananda in? And also Vairagis who had the proper attitude. Swarup Damodar Goswami. Vairagi, but proper attitude. Mahaprabhu's personal associates. One of the associates of Mahaprabhu was Madhavi Devi. Her name was what? Madhavi Devi. She was one of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She was also Vairagi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, she was also Vairagi. But proper attitude of Vairagya. Not improper attitude. Dear devotees, all these associates that Mahaprabhu had, irrespective of Varna and Ashram, they had proper Vairagya developed within them, and proper Vairagya is called which Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya. Where the main concern is Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. When the main concern is how will this be pleasing to Krishna. This is called as which Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya. How will it facilitate my love of Krishna? So dear devotees, let's give up this incorrect attitude. Many of us, I myself have had this many times in my life. I come from India. In India, everybody is preparing for a competitive exam. How many of us have prepared for competitive exams in India? Please raise your hands. See, almost entire India was preparing for competitive exams. And parents used to tell us, beta, study nicely for 8 hours. If others are studying for 6 hours, you study for 10 hours. And one fine day you give the exam and then you will be declared All India Rank 1. And this attitude we carry on the path of bhakti. Others are doing so much practice, you add Vairagya to it. And by doing lots of Vairagya and lots of these practices, one fine day Krishna will declare you all Goloka Rank 1 for that year. And you will go back home, back to Godhead. But dear devotees, back home, back to Godhead was not the original goal of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas would prefer to stay in the material world if they have Krishna Prem. Why a selfish desire? So dear devotees, back to Godhead should be a side effect. Renunciation should be a side effect of the main product that we want. What is the main product? Krishna Prem. As long as we have the main product, let others be the side effects. I will conclude, dear devotees, with a very nice verse from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This verse is in the meter Shardula Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I will sing it, please repeat after me. Pandityam Rata Hindakadvani Gato Yah Kam Diksha Vrati Pandityam Rata Hindakadvani Gato Kurvan Purvam Ashesha Shidga Nagari Samrajya Charyam Abhu Kurvan Purvam Ashesha Shidga Nagari Samrajya Charyam Abhu Chitram Soyam Udirayam Harigunan Udbashpa Drishtir Jano Chitram Soyam Udirayam दृष्टे स्त्रीवदने विकुर्णितमुखो विष्टभ्यनिष्ठीवती Rupa Goswami is describing a person, the previous existence, previous life of a previous life means in this life, in his previous days. Pandityam, he was a big pandit. Big pandit in what? Rata Hindaka Dvani Gato. Big pandit in understanding lust. Yaha Kama Diksha. This person had taken Diksha. In what? Kama. Vrati. He had taken a vow of becoming lusty. Very lustful person there was. Kurban Purvam Ashesha Shidga Nagari Samrajya Charyamabhut. He was roaming around in the vast kingdom of Kamadev unrestrained. Chitram, how amazing! Soyam, the same person today, Udirayan Harigunan, while he sings the glories of Hari, Udvashpa Drishtir, suddenly his eyes are welling up with tears. Drishte Strivadane, and while remembering Bhagwan Hari, if he accidentally happens to see the face of a lady and his previous thoughts come to him, Vikunitamuko, his mouth becomes distasteful, Vishtabhya, his lips curl, Nishtivate, he spits on the thought. Dear devotees, how did this amazing transformation happen? In the third line it is given, Chitram Soyam Udirayan Harigunan. Dear devotees, this was the magical effect of understanding Bhakti Ras. So please always keep Bhakti Ras as your main goal of life. Defeating Kam is a secondary thing, dear devotees, secondary objective. It is not the primary objective of Bhakti. This is the translation, Prabhu kindly read.
He was initiated into the ways of lust. He roamed around freely within the vast, unrestrained kingdom of lascivious, lustful desires. How amazing! While singing the glories of Lord Hari, that same person now exhibits tears in his eyes, and as soon as he sees an attractive woman, he feels repulsed while remembering his previous unwholesome desires.
This, dear devotees, is the surprising transformation of somebody who fully, completely, finally conquered Vatsasura without the possibility of ever arising back. Dear devotees, I'd like to pause here. Dear devotees, thank you very much. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushavam kinchit tad guru reva menahi. Yadatra skalitam kinchit. If there's any mistake in the presentation, of course I don't see a mistake because the previous acharyas were quoted, but still if you think there was any mistake, vidvam, so your learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushavam kinchit. If you felt anything was nice, tad guru reva. It belongs to my Gurujanas, Menahi. It doesn't belong to me, dear devotees. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. So I am sure there are quite a few queries. And Tejas Prabhu, how much time should we allocate to question and answers?
We'll take about 15 minutes.
15 minutes is good? Okay. Alright, so we have the time limit set for 15 minutes. Anybody wants to ask a query? Yes.
Prabhu, we have been told that lust is just a reflection of prema. We have usually experiencing prema, and lust is nothing but a reflection of the original prema. So if we try to remove lust, the rasa would be, we won't be enjoying the emotions of Krishna and Radha, because lust is required. So we cannot just be transformed, not to be eradicated. In fact, even love, anger also, anger and everything can be employed in Krishna service. Without these emotions of anger and fear and whatever, we cannot enjoy the pastimes. For example, like even Krishna is fearful, he is not active, he is going through the emotions. Right? So these emotions of anger and lust is required, but it has to be employed not for our selfish, but it has to be transformed to the original consciousness, which is that's what I.
Yeah. This thought process that lust is a perversion of the original rasa, that's all right. But this thought should not be misused to say that let's indulge in lust so that finally we will be able to understand what is prema. Because those two things are far apart, and experience of lust everybody has as they grow up. Vatsasura enters into everybody's heart, that there is no doubt about that. But without any external effort, we will know what is lust as we are growing up. So everybody has that experience. But the main thing is to align ourselves with the thought process of the acharyas and to put more effort in artha pravritti, in cultivating the positive aspects of Krishna Bhakti, and rest will be taken care of.
I agree to this statement that we don't have to do exclusively do the negative, focus on negative, or not focus on negative eradication rather than positive cultivation.
Yeah.
Negative will
automatically be taken care of. Alright, thank you. Yes. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
I was curious, I came across some kind of this, it said forbidden books list.
Huh?
It was talking about a forbidden books list.
Forbidden books list.
Is there anything besides Bhujava and Namani that's a forbidden book?
No. The thing is, when we say forbidden, what is the meaning of forbidden for whom? And then what yardstick will be used to determine who can? Is there anybody who thinks in their life they will one day wake up and say, today I am fit to read Ujjwal Nilmani? Some devotees here are practicing since decades, 2 or 3 decades. They are also thinking sometimes, am I qualified or not? We should have a fixed yardstick for understanding who is, because otherwise if we put our own Acharya's book in forbidden list, our Acharya will say, my goodness, for whom did I write the book? So there is a criteria, I will specify the criteria. Alright? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in one of the talks that he gave at Radhakund, he specified the criteria. I will try to point out that criteria that he had specified. Let me try to find it, see if I have it with me. Yeah. Just a minute. Yes. I will show on my screen the criteria given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhuji, you have to read You are able to see the screen? Okay. So you will have to read it, what is given on the screen, and I will share my screen with you. In 1932, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took a party of devotees, a group of devotees to Radha Kund, and he started giving a talk in Sri Radha Kund. This was in 1932, and everyone was surprised. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started speaking about Ashtakaliya Leela from Govinda Leela Amrit, or forbidden. Yeah. So so why was he speaking? Please read his exact words.
All these days we have not spoken about Ashtakaliya Leela, conjugal eightfold pastimes of Radha Krishna. But this is our most confidential asset. This is our only sadhya, perfection. One should not make the mistake of thinking that anarthana vritti, overcoming impediments such as lust, etc., is the prayojana goal of bhakti. One thinking like this will never enter into artha pravritti, acquiring one's actual needs. For this reason, I will now begin speaking about Ashtakaliya.
Can we imagine Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a front of group of devotees? He is speaking about Ashtakaliya Leela. That would be the last thought in my mind, but surprisingly he gave the reasoning behind it. Please read ahead, Prabhu.
I know that you are not ready to hear it, but we should know that such a transcendental idea exists within the realm of devotion. Beyond the realm of anartha nirviti is artha pravritti, pure conjugal service to Radha and Krishna.
He continues, please read.
This is transcendental reality. If we do not know of this transcendental realm, then all of our efforts will end in nirvishesha vada, impersonal.
Very important. If we don't know about the higher bhakti rasa, all no meditating, no, the impersonalist does neti. We may end up like the impersonalist who does neti, no this. If everything is no, then what is yes? So this is what he was trying to say. Please read ahead.
Do not let your day pass in simply trying for anartha nirviti. Artha pravritti is also necessary. Artha nirviti is necessary only until artha pravritti has started. Anartha nirviti is necessary only until artha pravritti has started. When artha pravritti is present, anartha nirviti becomes unimportant, and artha pravritti becomes prominent.
Alright, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is qualified to read and who is not qualified to read? Because people will always keep prohibiting others forever. After 30 years also you are unqualified to read. So a timeline should be set. Quantitative timeline. Final statement.
Those who have chanted Harinam for 15 or 20 years should know such things.
Alright, that's it. Now, since we began chanting Harinam, how many of us have spent 15 years since we chanted the first Harinam? Please raise your hand. And don't say him, oh no, I am still trying to chant. Not like that is not what he said. Alright? No fake humility. How many of us has been more than 15 years or 20 years since we started chanting Harinam? Please raise your hands. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's expectation is that by now we should know these topics. And he is speaking about the highest topics. Which topic was he speaking at Radha? Ashtakaliya Leela. After 15 years one should know about these topics. The beginners, he said, need not know or they will misunderstand. These topics are for certain audiences, not all. So Prabhu, now tell me, forbidden for whom? Forbidden for the newcomer on the path. You can, not forbidden. Forbidden is a very strong term. Preserved for later, for the newcomer. That is the language we should use. Preserved for later, for the newcomer. When we say forbidden, it means we have developed a negative image of that literature in the mind of the newcomer. And we are doing a great disservice to the newcomer. Preserved for later, for the newcomer. After how many years? 15 to 20 years of chanting Harinam. They should know about these topics. Yes.
Did Srila Prabhupada, I have two questions. The first one is, did Srila Prabhupada have the same mood or a little bit different in the sense that he would never discuss, Ketoten or Rasa dance. So, was it according to the time, place, and circumstance? Was that the reason?
If I say Srila Prabhupada had a different mood, I will do a disservice against Prabhupada because I said Prabhupada didn't follow as it is.
What I mean is, different means little bit different. Not diametrically different, but little bit different.
Okay, let's read something from Srila Prabhupada. Would you read Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Right. So I will show you. This is from the book Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. A brand new devotee, brand new individual has come to meet Srila Prabhupada. His name is Bob Cohen. Well, today he is initiated. His name is Brahma Tirtha Prabhu. But that time he was brand new. He was just meeting Srila Prabhupada for the first time. And he asked Prabhupada a question. So please, I will read Bob's comments, you read Prabhupada's comments. Is Krishna attractive to rascals?
Oh yes, he was the greatest rascal also.
How is that?
Laughing, because he was always teasing the gopis.
At this point of time, Shyam Sundar Prabhu said teasing. Please read.
Yes, sometimes when Radharani would go out, Krishna would attack her and she would fall down. Krishna, don't torture me in that way. They would fall down and Krishna would take the opportunity to kiss her. He laughed. So Radharani was very pleased, but superficially Krishna was the greatest rascal. So unless rascaldom is in Krishna, how could rascaldom be existent in the world?
If I do the same with new devotee, temple president will call me and say, is everything okay with you?
Prabhu, with your permission, I would like to say something.
Yeah.
This is an exception.
Oh.
It could be an exception.
Oh, wow.
I'm asking.
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm sitting here to answer the questions. All right.
Yeah.
So, chalo, let's take another praman because one praman is not.
No, I'm satisfied. I'm fine.
No, still. I am not satisfied. I want to take another praman. All right. 10:33-39 श्रीमद् भागवतम विक्रीडितम रजवधूभिरिदम च विष्णु श्रद्धान्वितोऽनुशृणुयादथ वर्णयेद्यः भक्तिं परां भगवति प्रतिलभ्य कामं हृद्रोगमाश्वपहिनोत्य चिरेण धीरः भागवतम 10:33-39 kindly read the translation. This translation was of Prabhupada. It was done previously by Prabhupada.
Anyone who faithfully hears or describes Lord's playful affairs to the devotees of love and will attend Lord's pure devotion service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust.
Acha, what happens first? Conquering of lust happens first or hearing happens first?
Hearing.
But I was told something opposite. What is the cause and what is the effect? Conquering of lust is the cause of hearing the pastimes, or hearing the pastimes is the cause of conquering the lust? You tell me. Hearing the pastimes with faith, Shraddhanvito. I will add all the details, otherwise people will say hear from anybody. Hear from a proper, authentic Gaudiya Vaishnava source who can explain the Tattva nicely. Shraddhanvito, Anushrunuyad, hear repeatedly, once hearing will not do. But after a certain time. What was the time limit set by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? That's it. Opening of this Granthi in the heart is very important, otherwise people will think first get rid of lust, then you hear. Bhagavatam has given a different sequence. Let's not place the cart before the horse. The horse should be placed before the cart. So first and foremost, Shraddhanvito, faithfully hearing from a proper source. And then very quickly we will be able to overcome harm. And this translation is by Srila Prabhupada. Although this is in the 10th canto, but previously also this particular translation was done in the purport to 7th canto. So Prabhupada has already translated this verse. If a bona fide listener hears of Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, which seem to be lusty affairs, the lusty desires in his heart, which constitute the heart disease of the conditioned soul, will be vanquished, and he will become a most exalted devotee of the Lord. So what is the cause and what is the effect? Now abhi to hence proved. Okay? So one who understands this will be able to free themselves from Phalgu Vairagya. So today one secret was given. But it is only for those who have adhikar. And what is the limit of adhikar that was said by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? 15 or 20 years of Harinam they should have chanted. Then a person should know about these topics. And to keep them away from such topics even after 15 or 20 years, which means we are trying to place a great obstacle on their path. We are acting like Dhenukasur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says. Dhenukasur cannot eat the tal fruit himself. He will not let others eat the tal fruit. Then Balram comes. Balram is represented by the Adi Guru. He is the Guru. And when Balram comes and he shakes up the tal tree and all the sweet fruits of rasa fall, who becomes angry? Dhenukasur. So dear devotees, let's not become Dhenukasur. Because Dhenukasur represents that demon who prevents others, even the eligible ones, from reading particular literature. That is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's verdict.
Thank you. Second question, there was some granthas that Srila carried because they were not qualified to be read by.
There are no such granthas which were buried. All the granthas of the 6 Goswamis are available. There is a Grantha Samadhi of Sri Sanatana Goswami in which all the existing literature of Sanatana Goswami is placed. So none of the literature was buried. None of the literature was buried. Otherwise, Sri Jiva Goswami would have mentioned the names of those literatures in the beginning of his commentary on 10th canto. But the names that Sri Jiva Goswami mentions, what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions, all the books of the Goswamis are available with us. At least they would have mentioned the names of the books which are not available. But none such, all the books are available. And what could be higher than the literature of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath? That is the highest. If we think that they hid something from their near and dear Gaudiya Vaishnavas, did they cheat the Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Never. They will never cheat their near and dear Gaudiya Vaishnavas. All those literature are available. We should read them after attaining proper qualification. That is the answer. And we should not forbid anybody who has attained proper qualification. It is between them and their Gurujanas.
So Ujjwala Nimani is also available?
Of course. Thousands of copies have been printed. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's desire came true. But thousands of qualified people are not there. Thousands of qualified people may not be there. Some people may be there who can understand. But thousands of qualified people may be difficult to find. So, thank you. Thank you, Prabhupada. Alright, so this is a good time to pause?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, let's sing the Prashadam prayers together. Mahaprashade Govinde Namah Vishwasudeva Jaya